Wonderful. Rohit, before we start, although you're going to ask me questions and you're going to ask me, you're the one who's hosting the whole show. But I want to tell you, this is going to be part of the 366 days. So I want to welcome everybody to the 366 days of simplicity with Dr. Ramesh. And we have a little different angle to the presentation and how to come to ease from disease. You're the boss. Take over and ask the question.
So thank you once again for letting me ask the question. So yesterday we spoke about how people's earnings, jobs, and everything has been affected, and how we have to get out of this and get into the heart. And we did an exercise. Now, I was talking to a couple of people, and even before we started this, questioning and answering with you, one of the things which many of us, or even us ourselves, who want to go into the heart, we're skeptic. Yeah, so we are like, so in other words, we have doubts. We're skeptic about it. We're saying, look at what's happening in the world, and here's a doctor telling us to go in our heart when everything around us is collapsing. What's up with this man? So how do we resolve this?
So interesting, you know. Okay, you know, first of all, let us go back to yesterday and tell you, and I spoke about there is a seen world and unseen world. The seen world is based on our five senses, whatever information it feeds from the outside. That's the seen world. And that is called the conscious world. And that is the world which is visible, and that is the material world. It has certain principles, and that's what it is. Now, because of that, we are in our head. We are in a jungle inside the head. It's a jungle of thoughts which never stops. And there's a jungle of information all the time. And the jungle of this information and the programs which are coming, the newspapers, televisions, everything is causing literally a jumbled jungle, And that is what is called being in the head and not knowing what to do. And you only want to believe what you know, and you don't want to believe what you don't know. And that is what it is. You know only one world which is visible, which is the conscious world. Do you know that invisible world? And I told you there's a universal principle. There is a holographic similarity. There is a universe, macro universe, and there is a micro universe. Who is the micro universe? You. There is a mini universe. Finally, come down to the atoms, which are exactly moving. The electrons, protons, and everything is moving just like the solar system. So you are the macro, there is a micro, and goes on. These are all holographic representations of the whole thing. So everything is self-similar. Everything is self-similar. Okay. That yesterday we told you that whole of the sky, you see so many stars, which only represents less than 1% of the whole of the universe. The material universe is only 1%. And that is visible to you by virtue of the light which reflects on it and comes back to you. That's all.
Okay.
That's
so
all.
How
then
do
there is another world. Let me finish this. There's another world, or the rest of the space, 99%, is the unseen world, the dark space. That's all. So here also, what you see and what you see visible to you with your naked eyes and all your five senses is only the visible world of yours, of material on which light can fall and reflect back. Light falls on Rohit and it reflects back to me. The rest of it is not visible. And the doorway to enter that rest of the world was given to you. That doorway was given to you yesterday, was the heart.
Okay. So just for the viewers, it's interesting you're talking about this. Yesterday, I was watching a documentary called Aluna, the Kogi people in South America, and they stay away from the world completely. And they entered into the world recently, a couple of years ago. I think I don't remember which year. They wanted to connect with civilization again, saying that we are destroying the earth and we need to do something about it. And they went to the UK, met a couple of scientists, and they were surprised with these people who have no knowledge of what's happening outside, yet they know more than them about how the universe is. And they were also talking about that, you know, that we are only this much and the universe is infinite. So it kind of references, and these are things which keep on coming up. Now for a person, so when we're in that skeptic, phase, or we meet someone who's skeptic, or we doubt ourselves, or someone else is doubting about going inside the heart, how do we pass through that how do we stop being skeptic?
Okay, good. Okay, skepticism. What is the meaning of skepticism? Means doubt.
Yes.
It is, and the doubt is you only believe what you have been taught and programmed and what you have seen. You want everything to be scientific, research proved, based on science. And I want to tell you, all our science is managing to just work on that 1%, which is visible. The rest of the 99% doesn't mean it's not scientific, even though it's not visible. It is. It is scientific also. It's just that we haven't been able to go to do the science. And remember that is the force which allows all the planets to move around the sun perfectly, perpetually. Can you imagine what kind of force that must be to keep that on in the whole universe and all the star systems? Can you ever imagine? Did you ever think of it? But we haven't studied it. We do not know it. So we will only believe what we see and how we have programmed. And person who is a skeptic never is open to new ideas, because his system inside, the so-called librarian inside, sees whether this new information makes sense or not. Does it fit into all that I have been taught or not? And the moment it sees it doesn't fit into it, it rejects.
Okay.
It rejects. So you have to be really open. In fact, this COVID-19 virus is bringing you to that state of awareness because of what has happened. It is bringing you to that state of awareness, and you have started thinking beyond the box. You started thinking of how the solutions are to take care of it, and that's beyond the box. Understand? So skepticism can only fall if one decides to be open, and one decides to evolve, and one decides to strengthen their ability. And first thing is to get out of the thought system which is controlling them.
Okay. So how do we open?
Open. Okay. So in order to be open, you need to like the idea. The first thing is, people say we have never stopped thinking. I am talking, you have to stop unnecessarily thinking.
Yes.
Unnecessary information barrage. You need to do that. And the methodology I taught you yesterday, very simply, instead of being in the head, get out of the head. And I chose the heart as the point of entry for that. So the moment you got out of the head, try it out like this, and you will see a silence falls into your head. A silence falls in. Your thoughts stop. I just told you, put in the heart and count 1 to 100. But only those who tried it, they will feel it. But those who didn't try it, they will not feel it. And a skeptic wants to remain skeptic, he will remain, and I can do nothing about them. They need to open up to the idea of doing this with that simple example I gave you, that we are only 1% visible, 99% we are not visible.
Okay. So if you are in a family, so everyone is isolated, they're locked down, they're in a family, you might be an individual who's following what you're saying, doctor. But there might be the other family members saying, what's up with you? You're wasting your time. And that gets you down then. How do you then, I'm not saying fight it, how do you pacify it and just say, okay, I see what you're saying, I'm still going to continue what I'm going to do? How do you actually have that conviction rather than going back into that fearless, being fair, being skeptic, being doubtful like the rest of the people around you?
Okay. I'll give you a very beautiful example, and I want to tell you a story about it from the Bible, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It's very interesting. There was a blind man, and he came to Jesus, and he told Jesus, I want to see. I used to see before I became blind. I want to see. First thing Jesus asked him, do you believe that I will be able to do this for you? And he said, yes. Do you know what Jesus was doing? He wants that person's belief that if I touch him, it's going to happen. That means he's already got the resolve that if Jesus touches me, I am going to be better. My eyesight is going to come. So he was playing around. Jesus was actually getting an affirmation for that individual's subconscious or the unseen world to say yes.
Okay.
And so he had that yes. He had already come with the conviction that Jesus is going to help him. So Jesus was just reconfirming that and said, do you believe that I will do this? I'll be able to do it? And he said, yes. So he had already come with the conviction and he just wanted an approval. So then Jesus says, okay, I decide to touch your eyes. And he touches his eyes and that person's vision comes back. Do you think the vision came back because Jesus touched him? No. Jesus came back because of that person's conviction and trust in himself, which brought the blind man to be able to see again. And the last sentence which Jesus said to him was, just don't tell anybody that I told you, I did this for you. So why did he do that? If now he will go and tell others, I went to Jesus, Jesus touched me and my eyesight came back. What nonsense are you talking? Why are you wasting your time? What bullshit is this? How is it possible? Can you see what those sentences did? The conviction went away and it could weaken his transformation, which he did himself. It was not Jesus. It was he himself. And that will come down. So this is the same story you're talking about. Don't go about convincing anybody. Follow what you have to do and be there. And if they want to listen, allow them to listen. You're not here to prove to everybody. If they want to be open, let them be open. They don't want to be open, that's their choice. They need to decide that they want to change. They need to decide that they don't want to be skeptic. They need to decide that this works. That is important. So now, moment you listen to them and they said, and your conviction was going down, you need to get out of that space and listen to what they said from this year to that year, and you continue with your experiment. It's not what I say. You need to prove it to yourself. And only you can prove it if you practice and try. That's all.
Okay. So to conclude for today, go into your heart, like you showed yesterday, and count 9, 18, and you just increase it 999, as long as you want to do that. And if there are people who are being skeptic, and also when you get skeptic, just bring back that trust and conviction. And the best way to do is, again, go into your heart. And if somebody is saying you're wasting their time, just say thank you to them and just continue with what you're doing.
Okay. Yes, perfect. But I want to tell you the science behind this.
Okay.
There is a science behind this. One is you're moving something. You know, energy is something which has to be moved for a change. If I keep sitting for a long time on a chair, I feel like getting up because I need to move my blood circulation. I need to get out of the stiffness and I need to change position. So life is movement and movement is life. And the whole world is a world of this unseen energy, which is not visible to the light world or the material world. And you need to learn to move it. And you're always in your head. He says, oh, that guy's remains is always in his head. This is a statement we make. They're always stuck in the head. They're always talking like this. Okay. So you're moving your awareness from the head to the heart. That is the first movement happening. Now, can you imagine, in order to move from there, even your breath has to move. Even your focus has to move. Your attention has to move. Your inner vision that I moved from the head to that place moved. You moved so many structures. Even your breath moves. So when you are doing the counting 1, 2, 3, your breathing is happening at that level. All your breath is happening at that level. That itself clears the channels of skepticism, of fear. And it brings you to the thoughtless. And the first stage is thoughtless. Only after you practice this regularly in intervals to remain thoughtless, then only the thoughtlessness goes to another step, that is the doubtlessness. Then it goes to stresslessness and painless. So there's a beautiful science. It's not just going to the heart what I'm talking. It's much more deeper, and you will realize it as you do it. And now it may last, this thoughtless must last for a short while. Again go, again learn the art of putting your hand on the heart or focusing your attention into the heart whenever you go to the thought. So try giving rest to your head. And stop listening to the radio news. You're adding and getting yourself corrupted by the slow energies. And this way, your vibrations will become faster. Let's talk about the vibrations tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a great evening, night, day, wherever you are.
Thank you. God bless. Bye.